hop is the only genre really where you have to worry about if like you like somebody's music, you like their song, mixtape, whatever. You don't know if they're gonna be able to have a follow up to that, right? Because you don't know if they're gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
You don't know if something worse gonna happen. They're gonna end up dead. And it's just kind of crazy because like Young Dolph, Darren and me went out this past weekend. They had a whole little Young Dolph set.
Yeah.
And I sat there and screamed every Young Dolph lyric, but every Young Dolph lyric is about taking life. Somebody's life, right? And it's just like one of those things where it's like a paradox. Like you love the music, but like that music, that lifestyle, like, you know, like Young Dolph, you know, I mean, you can Google it. He had his issues in the streets with other Memphis, Tennessee rappers. So, you know, like as hip hop fans, like, you know, we want our rappers to be real. I feel like that's always like the thing. You gotta be real. Like, Young Dolph, like there was no mistake. He made a whole mixtape after someone tried to kill him 4 years ago and shot 100 shots at him. Then died and said, "Oh, how y'all miss 100 shots?" Made a whole mixtape dissing the people who shot him. That was real shit. That's the hardest shit I've ever seen a rapper do in my life. I'm dead ass. I've never seen anything but like that. But, you know, that's the same lifestyle mindset that, you know, not to say that, like, you know, that's the reason why he died, but, like, when you just live in that lifestyle, like, are you inviting that type of energy? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's always tough. And it's always, like, the cliche, like, when you make money, like, when a lot of these rappers, like, they start off real young, and, like, they're used to a certain lifestyle, and then, like, boom, like, a hit reaches, or, like, they get, like, some type of deal, and then, like, the spotlight's on them, but like that don't mean they necessarily change as a person. That don't mean they necessarily change like the people they're around. Well, that means they didn't necessarily change their habits either. Like they might still like you might still want to go to your favorite restaurant like that you grew up eating all the time. You might want to support the business that you like you grew up eating or whatever. Like so. Like a lot of times with these young rappers who like get caught up in some street bullshit, it's because of that. Like this fame shit can happen so fast and like things can turn like very quickly. So it's like it's almost crazy like when you hear like, and that's what I was saying, like the cliche, like you can't like you gotta not let go of the neighborhood, but like sometimes like a lot of like when you see these situations, like we saw with Nipsey like getting killed in his own hood, like we saw with Dolph, and like it's like too many rappers to count, but like when you see them get killed in their own hood, it's a lot of like jealousy from people that might have known you coming up. A lot of people who are like, I should have been in his spot. Like so, it's a lot that comes with that.
Ops.
Yeah, just like ops in general, like childhood ops people who you like ops you grew up with, like who still like are hanging on to that shit. You might be in a different place. You might have decided, hey, I got money.
They still remember.
Yeah, and they remember everything. It was like I remember you was nothing. Like, and a lot of times when you get famous, then you get more ops. You get what I'm saying? So like a lot of people who see you growing in that light, like where they, especially if y'all came up together, like they might have the worst hate out of everybody. So I mean, it's a tough dynamic. I mean, we can expand on it, but like it's really tough. Like, cause I know you're gonna love the community you grew up with. You're gonna love it's hard to let go of some of the friends that you came up with, or like any of the like your old neighborhood, because that like they have a special place in these like, cause these are young guys. I mean, Dolph was 36, like, which is it's still like really young. Yeah. So like 36, like it wasn't that long ago, like where he was probably like where he remembers like stuff that happened in that neighborhood. So I mean, like as you can see, he still visited that place that he went. I forgot what it was called, but still visited that
cookie shop.
Yeah, the cookie shop. Yeah. So.
I mean, I feel like rap is like the only like thing where like I was just thinking like while we were talking, I'm just like, you think a lot of like sports players like come from like from poverty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like when they come back to like their hood, they're like neighborhood hero. You know what I mean? And it's like why can't we keep that same energy when we talk about rappers? But I think what ends up happening, like you guys saying, is like there's the music and the lifestyle they live in, and somebody wants to like pull their card or wants to like, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like you got a king of the city and you take out the king, then it's like, all right, well I'm next, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe they send send somebody to, you know, like a hit or somebody to knock somebody down so they can be next, you know what I mean? Because you're just hating on somebody so hard that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta knock them down the status. And that involves sometimes killing somebody, you know what I mean? Like, because you can't beat them, kill them, you know what I mean? Like, that's the real truth. Like, I think with Nipsey, when I thought about with Dolph, like, 'cause that's the only thing I can think of when, you know what I'm saying, like, nobody's out going to killed Bama Zed, came back to the hood in Miami, you know what I'm saying, that are superstar, you know, athletes, like they love them, they rap them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are they killing somebody that's actually, some of these people that come back to the hood don't even get back, like Dolph did, you know what I mean? It's like, what you're really doing is not even like killing somebody that's just like an op to you, somebody that's like really helping the surrounding community around you, that's helping, you know what I'm saying, like foster people that's below you. So it really speaks volumes about the city really, or like the hood or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, because I mean, if I don't know if you guys seen, like there's been like 5 or 6 other killings after in retaliation for like Dolph. And it's just like,
Memphis is a tough city. Like,
you know
even
what
before
I'm
Memphis is a really tough, like it's not, Memphis is not a game. Not a game.
That is always like the difficult thing about this type of stuff. It always kind of like puts into perspective like the whole thing of like the streets don't love anybody. Like, you know, all these people, like they come back home and it's like, you know, it's like you said, they hometown heroes. Like, you know, you coming back to your block, you know, you did all this stuff, you've accomplished so much. And it's like you don't want to have to tell somebody to leave where they're from per se. Like you don't want to have to tell somebody, look, don't come back to where you are. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, bro,
don't go see your grandma.
Yeah, it's like not even. Yeah, it's like, yo, as rich as these dudes are, it's like, you know, it's like, but some of these dudes, like, it's a badge to be able to say, I go back to my hood, I don't got nobody with me, you know.
But I ain't changed. But they pay it though. I feel like a lot of like it's probably a lot of things that we just don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying, you putting people on and stuff like that, money or clothes and stuff. It ain't no free pass to come back to the hood if you ain't showing love to it.
You show love, but I mean, it's like at the same time, it's like, yo, you show love. You're absolutely right. You are showing love. You do stuff. Like you said, you give back to your community, all this other type of stuff. It don't always love you. Yeah. Just because you out there on the block and you doing, you know, you're doing the good things. You're making your music. You're making music and making money legitimately. But at the same time, it's like, bro, the people that are out here, they don't all love you. Like, bro, like he had multiple beats within Memphis, and it's like the hardest thing in the world is just like telling somebody, yo, you don't gotta go back there. Like, you know, and not to say you never go back, but it's like, you know, you gotta pick and choose your spots. Like when Nipsey died, it's like, man, y'all here, his store, which I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have to have security at your store, but you know where your store was located and, you know, Crenshaw and all that type of stuff. You knew it, and it's just like, and it's not to say it's not to say that all these people in these places are bad or anything like that. I don't want to come across like that, but you just know the risk that you're running, and you know that everybody ain't always happy for your success. At the end of the day, everybody ain't always happy for your success, and there's always going to be somebody that's, like you said, there's always going to be somebody out there that's gunning for you. Like, you know, either for some stuff you did back in the day, or it could be something new. And it's just like, you know, I think like one of the harder things is when you like listen to some of this stuff and you like listen to this music and hear it back. It's just like, you know, you hear all the stuff these dudes were kind of inviting into their life. Like, it's like the same thing that like after Pop Smoke died, it was like, you know, you listen to Pop Smoke album, it's like it's good music, but you're like, yo, you're 20 years old. Yeah, it's just like, yo, fam. Like, I mean, and it's what we love. Like we it's like the one of the things up there, it's like, yo, we love this violent music. And it's like, I think you made points about that before, where it's like, you know, you love the violent music and we don't get on rappers for how violent they are and some of this stuff. We love it. Like, we literally will sit here and sing every word to Many Men or like other 50 Cent songs, and it's just like, bro, it's just this level of violence.
Think about at the club how many songs you hear where there's at least one mention of someone shooting somebody. Yeah. Like what?
And we like
take a drinking game every time someone getting shot. Like
the Tootsie Side is like the most creative song ever about fucking a nigga up. Yeah. It's a very funny song, but I mean at the end of the day, it's still about.
I think it just taps into like our primordial side, like in terms of like.
Yeah.
Like
violence sells, dude.
Like
violence sells,
man. Yeah, like the reason why America loves football is because it's
modern
day gladiators. Like it's modern day Coliseum, and then the reason why a lot of people like rap is because it's the modern day like audio
people
gladiator.
It's the only music that has competitiveness.
You open up Netflix. How many times like, oh, watch this gangster movie? Oh, we just got a Goodfellas. We just had a Godfather or something like that. Belly, whatever.
We just had a Gladiator.
Yeah.
People crave a lifestyle that they don't have. Like that's the reason. That's a part of what went into
fantasy.
Like, that's a part of the reason where white people, especially like in the 90s, hip hop bought into hip hop because like they're like, oh, like I feel so gangster. Like look at these gangsters.
Never be my life, but I can live my currency through ice cream.
I ain't even just gonna say the white people because I mean
black people
us
too. Us too.
Like all suburban black kids, bro. I love me some Crip music.
I love Young Dolph. Like I'm looking back, I didn't realize how much of a Young Dolph fan I was, but because like really, like I'm not like all types of hip hop. I love Young Dolph. Like for whatever reason, he was my guy. Like I liked a lot of his music. And you know, yeah, cause that nigga was real. Like I knew he was real when he made that mixtape. That nigga was no bullshit.
You listen to these dudes' music when after it happens, you're just like, yo, I never really peeped how this sounded or how much there was. And for a lot of these guys, you don't really peep it until like they're gone. It's not until somebody like usually like something happens, they get shot, they get arrested, that you sit around and you just look into it and you just kind of sitting there and you like, yo, this nigga really was about these things. I guess, like I'm saying, like Pop Smoke was just like the perfect example. Pooh Shiesty
is a wild,
bruh, like even if you don't get shot, it's like bro, you don't get to enjoy the fruits of your success.
Yeah, Pooh Shiesty is a good example of what Darren said about when like you're living a lifestyle, all of a sudden you get famous overnight and you can't just turn that lifestyle off. That
it's hard to
catch up with you.
Yeah, Pooh Shiesty's had one of the most popular songs in the country for like the better part of the year.
Still trying to rob niggas and shooting.
Yes, you can't just turn it off.
You can't turn it off. It's a mindset. You're absolutely right. It's a mindset. Niggas is trapped in that same mindset.
That's your people around you too. Like,
bro, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling that it wasn't really him.
His man's was.
I ain't gonna say it.
Well, I don't know.
But saying, like
he probably had the gun.
But the thing is, like,
somebody probably put a battery in his back.
What fucking? What's his name? Chris Carter's ex-football player, and he spoke at a rookie symposium for NFL players a couple years ago, and he was like, "You're always gonna have a fall guy with you, in your crew who would take the fall for you." Like Malik said, maybe Pooh Shiesty's man wasn't like the main person doing whatever, but you need somebody around you that's gonna be like, "Oh man, you just." Bro, have you seen that song you got? That song you got, that's a pretty big song. I probably shouldn't do this. No, his man just came from the fucking mud too. So you're like, fucking
you gotta think about it, because these are like these guys like childhood friends. So like they feel that natural obligation, like, oh, I'm gonna put all y'all on. Like, oh, come on with me. So like, even if you don't have beef, even if you squash your beef before you got famous, like your mans might have beef, your security who's like your best friend coming up might have beef. So you gotta carry all that with you too. So like, honestly, it's like it's a big dilemma that I'm sure a lot of them face. But like, I think what it's got to come down to, like, especially like with friends, like and like bringing on friends like who are from the hood as well, and might have their own shit. Like look, you gotta squash your shit too. Like if you trying to be a part of this camp, like this is where we're going. If you're trying to go in that same direction, you gotta squash your shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we gotta get to.
At the same time, but you saying you also gotta tell yourself that.
Yeah, you do.
That is like
some niggas,
like the biggest thing. Like all these dudes, man, they get to this point, but it's like they haven't let go of the stuff that they're dealing with.
Right.
Like you still got all your own issues. Like a lot of these dudes, man, they can't even go back to their city without some stuff. Like all these dudes from Chicago, they go back to their own city. They get
or even like one thing I'll say. Well, the travel point is a good point because I think Chief Keef is a good example of some. Chief Keef don't ever go back to Chicago from what I can tell. He was like, I'm going to LA and
I think Dirk is the opposite is because I feel like Dirk still be in Chicago.
Oh yeah,
he still.
When Dirk has suffered a lot. Because I was about to bring up King Von because like King Von, if I'm not mistaken, King Von like it's just like that mentality like let's fight. Instead of just saying, fuck it, whatever. King Von died over a bar fight.
Didn't want to fight the nigga.
Yeah, it was like some...
The other niggas
just
didn't
like,
want to fight.
it was just like niggas wasn't trying to fight, but it was like a thing, and then somebody ended up dead. Instead of like...
Not somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, instead of just, shit, I'm with Meek or whatever, I'm making a lot of money right now, I'm just going to leave. No, you want to get into a fight, and then, shit.
But I mean, for a lot of niggas... And
but you still got that mindset,
though. Yeah, I'm about to say, but for a lot of niggas, it's like the same thing of, and this goes beyond fame. It's like with a regular nigga, it's like, it's a respect thing. So for you also feel like, yo, look, if you try me out here,
right,
it's on my, this is who I am. Especially if you made a bunch of songs about like, what you be doing out in the streets.
Yeah,
you want to be busy with it.
Niggas want to try you too.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So can I ask you a question? Would you prefer your rappers to be just talk good game but not really about it, or do you want your rappers to be real?
So. It's like the hardest thing in the world. It's like you want authenticity within your music because you don't want to listen to somebody who really hasn't done all this stuff. They're just like making it up. Mm-hmm. Just you want authenticity, but you really want there to be a distance between themselves and that authentic past. That's more so what I'll say. I'm not trying to
recounting stories from back in the day.
Like with Jay-Z, it's like
you probably did that in 1994.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, look, if you're a smart rapper, the biggest thing you can do as a smart rapper would be to live. Because the longer you live, the more statute of limitations on stuff goes away. You can talk about everything that you did back in the day. Because that's what all of them be talking about. Like, Jeezy, you say, yeah, statute of limitations is up. I can talk about some of this stuff now. Which is wild in and of itself. But
I probably wouldn't do that.
But I'm just saying, like, yo, you do want authentic people. You want them to be real. You want them to be themselves. But, I mean... nobody wants, and it sucks. This is the music we listen to. Nobody wants to sit around and worry every time they find a rapper that they're gonna die. Like, bro, like I sit around, like I listen to Maxo Cream now, and I be like, damn, I hope Maxo don't die.
Bro,
I like this nigga. He mad
I've been
violent.
listening to so much NBA YoungBoy, and luckily he's in jail all the time, so he can't get shot. But like,
Man, that's even worse.
I'm not saying like shit. I'd be like, damn, that nigga talking about killing people all the time. It sounds great though.
It sound, and you just be sitting there, you listen to it like, yo, this is real. And I mean, the real will always rise to the top. That's why niggas love real stuff. I mean, it just is what it is. But you don't want, none of us want to just be sitting around and always feel like, damn, my favorite rapper died. Damn, this nigga I just got put on to, got locked up. Damn, he ain't making music no more. Bro, they don't even be, and sometimes it's not even the niggas you think would get locked up. Like the nigga Melvin, or what's his name? YNW Melly. That's his real, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't he
crazy? His story.
I mean, yeah, but he just seemed like an artsy crazy nigga.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. Like,
Murder
Murder on My Mind.
like a figurative song.
But it just seemed like he was being artsy and just little. He seemed like a weirdo. No offense. Like I mean, he wasn't my taste.
But sound like a little pretty literal song to me.
Oh,
like apparently, like
you know, but
like you didn't think that at first, right?
But yeah, you thought I thought he was an artsy weirdo. That's all I thought he was. I ain't like his music like that. But I mean, it just sounded, you know, it was what it was.
That's one song. Every time I hear that song, because it's a good song.
That
song is creepy. Now knowing everything, like it's so detailed. Like
he foretold the murder.
Damn, you heard part 2.
Oh, there was a part 2? I didn't even know that.
See, believe me knowing stuff.
No, bro, I didn't even know that.
I'm good on YNW.
I mean, one thing I'll say about this, like, I don't know. I like Robert De Niro's a good actor. Al Pacino's a good actor. Ray but they all play gangster. The dude from I'm watching Sopranos, they all play gangsters. We're not gangsters in real life.
Yeah,
so I
you know what? No.
But
you know
I'm
what's
saying
crazy?
my point is,
Yeah,
I would prefer my rappers to be like that, or like Dante said. This is shit you did. I don't want my rap. Like I don't know. It's because it's weird to hear you talk about this shit then die. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm tired of that.
That's a good point because like the only thing like it's not that we need to know that you did all this shit in your past. We just have to believe you. Like and that's the thing that failed with.
You're a good liar.
With not to clown on Logic, but like I just didn't believe him as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like it's some niggas who you just don't believe.
Certain things.
No, there's some things, but like certain things like. It's certain things you gotta believe that person rap. Like Drake, you know he's a lover boy. You know he's this. He never comes off as like hard, like thug, like lifestyle, whatever. But he tries on sometimes like to get with the hit, but like he like his core like it's not really. That's not really.
He
him.
is what he is.
Yeah. So like end of the day, like as long as you're believable, so like in a sense, like yeah, you are acting in a sense. Like you don't have to. And with the stories, you're not even acting. You're telling a story. Like you're telling a story.
You're selling a persona.
You're selling a persona.
I hate come out and pull Robert De Niro's card.
Okay, but
he wasn't.
I'll say
really
like this.
Irish gangster.
I'm
Like,
glad
You're not even Italian.
What Darian said was right, because I hate to always bring it back to wrestling, but wrestling, one of the biggest things is you gotta believe that you're this character.
That's it.
Right? Yeah. I believe that you're this ass-kicking guy.
That Terry Bollea is Hulk
Hogan. I believe this is Hulk Hogan. Right? But like Darian said, if I believe it, you don't gotta go out and shoot 8 people after this. Like, I don't know. Now, Link's right. Overall in hip-hop, you're expected to be real, but I don't think that should be, I don't know.
You gotta be real, man, because I mean, like, what's the point?
Why? Because hip-hop says it, or because it's the best?
Nah, because we all clown 6ix9ine.
Huh?
You gotta be real. 6ix9ine was fraud.
No one thought 6ix9ine was out here like that even before
that.
Because
niggas didn't believe him. That's
think about it though. He actually brings up a good point though, because now when 6ix9ine got his car pulled, no one bangs with him.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a tough cookie, but I mean, I think you have to be strategic though. Like if you talk about like I'm more prefer my rappers to talk about like the shit that happened in the past. Like one thing I loved about like King Von's music is like he used to do story time. Like in his music. And I'm like,
that nigga wasn't, but that nigga was already, I don't know how much in the past.
Bro, that man,
these niggas grow up fast.
That man wild.
These niggas grow up fast.
Yeah.
Like, it started like 13, 14. Like, they got a lot of stories to tell.
So, I mean, he had stories and he ain't had to like be about that life. But it's just like at some point you gotta let go of childish things and grow up. But I feel like a lot of people like the Dolph situation is like really super sad because like he's an adult. Like, he's like a middle-aged man.
Hell
like
man.
the Vaughn situation is like the worst one because like I don't think he had an opportunity to really get away from that because
he was still
coming up.
It was open.
Yeah, he was still coming in. He was becoming an overnight sensation.
So bad.
Pop Smoke.
Pop was even younger than Vaughn. Like
Pop Smoke wasn't like some hater shit though. Like it was just like.
I mean, it was still a robbery. Niggas trying to hit a lick. I hear what you're saying though. I get you. I'm just saying like I'm saying like in terms of age. Yeah, it's like because Pop Smoke was dumb young. Like Vaughn was at least like mid-20s, which. still plenty of life to live. But I mean, my God,
Yeah, I see.
difference in your life between 26 and 20 is crazy.
It's a slippery slope, guys. I think that we want our guys to be real. We want them to be authentic because then if we're gonna have that same type of energy for non-hood rappers, we gotta have that same type of energy for rappers that do talk about the hood. Like,
That is true.
we don't talk about we don't try to pull cars for 4th Street Drive or you know what I'm saying or.
Actually, no, I have pulled J. Cole's card before because his virginity stories don't add up. When at first he said my first month.
You're the only nigga.
Dante went there and interviewed every chick.
I'm just saying. In one of his songs he said the slutty joint was my first smash, and then in I Ain't Never Done This Before he was having sex with some virgin. I'm just saying your bars gotta add up. A nigga like me
Tell
listens
the
to your
story.
story. Yeah, I know he telling stories. He lying. That's what the story
J.
is.
Cole, come on the pod, prove yourself.
Yeah, come on the pod.
I just ruined the Dreamville deal, guys.
Yeah, guys, way to go.
Damn.
We're not gonna have our own little booth at Dreamville Fest.
They ain't gonna want to be a boss.
Fuck,
He's about to be set up next to Ari.
Fuck.
Mess that
I'm
up.
gonna kill your ass.
Let's keep it a buck. We weren't getting next to Ari. We probably were next to Earth Gang.
Shit.
I like Earth Gang.
Nigga, if I'm next to Ari, bro, listen.
What's up?
Either we leaving together or I'm dead. So I mean,
You wanna
Shoot your shot,
worry
baby.
about that statement?
You're like, I'm pussy. Either I'm pussy or I'm giving
just look at me.
This man getting dragged out. This man getting Uncle Phil.
Ari, please, please. But yeah, seriously though, like I
J.
mean,
Cole lie.
yeah, I forgot. J. Cole.
I love that nigga though.
No, I think what we're talking about is we can't have the same standard for people that the hood talk for rappers that talk about
Everyday
Future.
lifestyle.
I believe Future. And
You believe
And that's
about
all you
what?
have to. Yeah, about.
About what?
Oh,
I don't think Future.
Dog
Future
Days.
don't talk
I
about. I don't think Future ever killed nobody.
Future actually does this right. I mean, he
Oh,
might have.
I
but
don't know.
He sells a good
Bro,
story.
he used to work with fucking the Dungeon Family and Outkast.
And all of the
He
Dutch
ain't
families
shoot
is
nobody.
pretty. The Dutch family is like
Yeah, that was pretty gritty
it
though.
was drug.
I mean, yeah, Big Boy Andre wasn't like clean as a whistle.
I mean, that's like almost like.
But I mean, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I got you. But I mean,
maybe.
the Dunn family, there are some niggas within that group that did some shit back in the
But
day.
Future don't talk about shit like that no more. He talks about.
Because he chose an identity. He
I feel
chose
like
a persona.
Future.
But no, he
is-
grew
Leaned
up.
into.
Cause like Move That Dope is like a private.
Yeah, I feel like
rapper,
Future is literally Future is
Oh, wait,
Al
that's-
Pacino
that's-
or
that's-
Robert De Niro.
that's-
I feel like Future like it's like a joke. Him and Migos, they all talk about this shit, but I feel like they're talking about it not like in a funny way, but like in like a lighthearted. Oh, I sell drugs, I kill people, but not like in a serious way. King Von was telling me shit about what he's done. I believe everything King Von is saying. Young Dolph as well. Future, Migos, somebody like that. I mean, I feel like it's like
trap rap, and then there's like hip hop.
Yeah.
And that, to me, like you talk about Future and Quavo and Migos is like that's like just hip hop at this point because it's just like telling a story. Trap rap, King Von, Dolph, Gucci Mane, all that shit is like I'm gonna tell a story, but I actually
it's
did
very
this shit.
vivid. Very vivid.
That's all he says. Even different in the trap though. Cause trapping, some of these dudes like trap rap, I can still say is like Migos and that type of stuff. A lot of their stuff is still talking about trapping. It's different between talking about trapping and talking about some of the violent stuff that goes with. I'm trying to find a line here. It all runs together. I know what you're saying. It's a different line.
When I listen to Future and Migos talk about that, I feel like it's like a video game. Where you're just shooting people in a video game. It's Grand Theft Auto. It's not right.
Okay.
I believe
I
them though.
I feel like King Von, like Young Dolph, like that is like, all right, y'all niggas was really out here like on some like doing shit. I don't know. Not to say the Migos, I don't know what the Future, but I don't know. Just the way
I ain't
they,
nobody to question anybody's cause.
yeah.
No, I mean I think I would say they probably. I gathered they maybe did in the past.
Yeah.
But I would say right now they're still talking. The fact that they're still talking about it just kind of just we've just been lulled to sleep at this point because nobody really ever thought twice about like what's it stir fry shit.
That's
like,
what I'm
you know what I'm saying. Like
what
this
I
is a
always-
bop.
What I always
like
say
that
about
shit,
that,
bro.
like that song sounds like a fucking record company.
Kids
said-
about trap.
Yeah,
Kids
like
about trap.
make a song about selling drugs. Make it something like the Minions and fucking Super Me can
Crazy.
dance to. You know what I mean? Like,
That's crazy.
Post man's that. Post man's that. God, I love that song. It is so simple.
And I think that's what a lot of these niggas gotta get, like finding a creative way to tell your story. Like, cause I mean, a lot of these niggas are real. Like, hip hop was born out of like a like from the poor like black communities and a lot of people who are like
I love
hustling
black music.
and a lot of other stuff like so it was born out of that. So like just, like it's always gonna be like an element of that, like people who are start off hustling. Like it's not like you can get away from that. But
I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think Young Dolph was the last Young Dolph or
he
Nipsey Hussle.
most likely won't.
One of the people, like, when you play this podcast in the car, we're driving to work, driving whatever, you listen to some hip hop before, somebody's talking about some shooting shit. There's a chance that one of those people is the next person we're talking about. And that's just, I feel like that's just
I mean, the thing about it, there's been plenty of rappers before, though, even this year.
Yeah, I know.
It's just not the same notoriety.
But I was just saying, like, that's just part of being a hip hop fan. Like,
bro, hip hop, we're just conditioned to like lose artists all the time. Like, you know, bro, like are country artists out here worried that Morgan Wallen going down tomorrow? Probably not. But it's like, you know, that's the dude that said the N-word. But yeah, it just.
I mean, it might be the same. You might die in a tractor accident or something.
Yeah, or maybe a
I've
drug
probably
overdose.
seen
That's
it.
about
Yeah.
it. But I mean, like their biggest worry is the 27 Club. Like for our music though, it's like, bro, every time we find somebody.
So like a bunch of rock stars like Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain,
Amy
they all died in Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin died in 27.
Oh wow.
Drugs. Typically. But
Yeah.
the biggest thing is, you know, for our music, it's like, bro, we listen to it, we love it, but at the same time, it's just like, the thing is, we understand, like, a lot of it is so steeped in violence, and a lot of these dudes, either they don't get far enough from it, or it always finds a way to come back to them. And you just end up losing it. And it's happened since the beginning of hip hop, bro. Like, I mean, we talking about something that's been going on since Biggie and Pac died. Like, it just been going on for so long. It's just,
This whole time.
it's the saddest thing. It's the culture. We all understand that it's the way it goes. Like, and it's terrible, but it's just like, you know, you hear about it, you're sad, and you're like, man, this one hurt, this one different. And then you end up seeing the same tweets like 5 months later because it ends up happening to people, and it's so messed up. And it's kind of just like, you know, eventually you do like lose your sensitivity to it because not like we don't care or not like, you know, you don't feel anything or like compassion or those type of things, but it's like, bro, it happens so often. It's just so messed up because we all see it all the time. It's just like our music that we love is just the one where real really does go too far for some of these dudes, and it's just like you end up in a real ass situation, and it's like the saddest thing in the world because you end up losing so many like young talents. Like there's so many people that were like so great or like had more potential. Like bro, like Dolph was a good rapper. Like Dolph was like
and I didn't appreciate him until it was too late. Like
you never do. It's like bro, like I keep going back to Pop Smoke. I didn't appreciate Pop Smoke till he died. Or like Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey finally started to get like serious.
That last victory lap.
An episode of this podcast where like it's like like I think I moved from like, oh, I don't think Nipsey's that good until that album came out. Oh, it's pretty good. And, you know, then that happened.
And he died.
Yeah.
And it's just like the most messed up thing in the world. And it's like, the sad thing is they won't be Dog won't be the last one. God, you hope he's the last one for this year, but you can't even guarantee that, bro. Like, December still gotta come. Like, it's just the way it is. It's so messed up, man. And if it ain't him, it ends up being some young kid who just got signed and you don't even know their songs, bro. It's like messed up within hip hop, just like how many artists that you just lose. If I was like a record executive, I'd be scared to sign all these niggas. Cause you just don't.
But they love that shit.
You get sales off the back end, but I mean, bro, you sign young talent, you don't want them to die.
Oh, he's so street dog. Like,
but half these niggas ain't got no catalog. Like, bro, like if you signed a nigga MO3, did he have a catalog before he died? Like, I think he was Masters.
They just want to catch the buzz.
Yeah, and I got you. I'm just saying, like, it's just like messed up. Like these dudes finally started to get a wave, and they gone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's. Why do you think they sell like 5,000 Pop Smoke albums? Like leftover lyrics.
Fucking stop.
That shit's sick. Yeah.
Well, like we said, we wish you a Merry Woman's and a Happy New Year.
Wait until the Pop Smoke fucking Hanukkah album comes out. Fuck Jesus. But I think you killed that one, Dante. No, I mean you're not lying, bro.
I was gonna make a Spin the Cradle joke with the woo, but I couldn't.
Bro, I can't. Every time I look up his new album, I'm like, dude, did he have that much music out? And really,
no, he
it's
didn't, bro.
gross.
Even his family don't want it to be out there.
It's
It's like
gross.
it's unfinished songs. They're just taking bars
gross,
and putting them in places. Like the last album came out wasn't even good.
Yeah, I ain't like
It's
that.
just spliced. And it's sad, but you know, we gonna keep being here until like we figure this out and we figure out a different way to do things, or until there is no solution, honestly.
That's what I'm trying to think. Like, how can we fix this? Like, I don't know that we can.
Because I mean, we're not gonna tell people don't go to your hometown. bro, like that's their hometown. They're
Not
gonna
gonna tell
go back.
people cut off all your old
You
friends
can't,
either.
You can't
Like,
move your entire family out of your hood.
Most of these dudes ain't getting money yet.
Yeah, I'm about to
They
say.
getting shot, but they actually touch money. They may still actually be there. Like it's the most messed up thing in the
can't leave
world.
grandma behind.
They're about to
Nah,
say.
they gonna fuck with
Grandma
her.
might not want to move to LA or Atlanta.
You know, like Chief Keef got lucky. Like Chief Keef signed a deal with a huge advance. Then he was able to get up and leave. Everybody can't beat Chief Keef.
everybody can't do that.
Like, you know, niggas give Chief Keef a lot of crap, but shout out to Chief Keef for like getting out of that life. Like, you know, he moved out of LA he moved out of LA like very quickly compared to a lot of these dudes. And he's still like mad young, all things considered. He's younger than us.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
digress.
think you killed it. Anybody else need to go back on that? I think Dante like did a good job there, but no,
That's good.
yeah, I just really, again, I feel like we're going to not have to talk about this topic again, but we're gonna have another toast to some rapper, and it makes me sad in the future.
No, it really does. It really does.
It's terrible.
And the whole time I was trying to think of like, what can we do? Like, I mean, what can,
Yeah, there's no
what can they do? Like, but I mean,
Man guns?
You tell niggas cut off like their hood ties, but like you said, nobody want to do that.
No guns, just round up all the guns.
Yeah, just no guns.
No guns.
Let's go back to fisticuffs.
I mean, shit.
King Von actually tried that. King Von was trying to fight
And
the
you
nigga.
came around
He
and
got
fucking
mad
shot.
shot. So I mean, what do you want?
And King Von got killed in Atlanta. Nigga from Chicago, so like, he wasn't even his hometown. But you know, I digress. All right, it's episode 85. We gotta get out of here. Goddamn, jeez, that was a dark topic. Our next episodes will be a little bit lighter than that. But you know, we're hip hop fans. We're young black men. This is it's just some things we deal with. You know, just prayers to everybody involved. Prayers to Young Dolph's family. Prayers to Young Dolph, Key Glock. You know, all
Stream his
people.
music, Young
Stream his
Masters.
music, all that. So,
I don't know if that's true, but it was on Twitter.
I'm about to say,
I saw that
his
too.
music
I saw
just
that
to do it. And,
Hey, definitely. His family need money. Like not in a mean way, but I'm saying like, yo, support. Always.
Yeah, episode 85. Subscribe on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter. You know, one of these days we're gonna do something cool on social media. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. So just subscribe now or follow now so you'll be there.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, it's man's on Luigi W here.
It's your boy Malik, aka They Be Geeking Leak.
And it's your boy Darian, aka Clark Kent, and these are the Hentations.
Damn, that's smooth.